Hey guys, this is Rafaro and welcome to my channel. Today I have the racket and I have the balls, the tennis balls, because today I will be reviewing and sharing some exciting and very powerful lessons I learned from watching the King Richard film based on the Serena and Williams' father, where Will Smith plays King Richard. So if you guys are new to this channel, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and join the family, and stay tuned for this review and for the really powerful lessons that I learned from this fantastic movie. Let's go. So a few weeks ago, I went to watch the King Richard film. I went to watch it for several reasons. The first reason being that tennis is my love. It's my first love. I've been playing tennis for 14 years, played it competitively for most of my life. I held a tennis racket when I was 9 years old, and my father was my first coach. So you can see that relationship, the comparison between Serena and Venus and their dad. This is me and my dad. And when I first learned tennis, I was this little black girl, and I always really related to them and their story. And back at home, people would watch me at the streets and be like, oh, are you Venus or Serena? Which one are you, Venus or Serena? So I really wanted to watch this film and to get some powerful lessons from it and really see where they grew up and their background. So even for me growing up, when I played tennis, I loved Serena's backhand. It's her strength, such a powerful stroke. And naturally that became my favorite stroke. My backhand, I would always go for that. So let me backtrack a bit. Let me go back to my father. So my father, as I mentioned earlier, taught me how to play tennis when I was 9 years old. I'll insert a picture of him here. And he learned how to play tennis when he was in high school back in Zimbabwe. And he played first team. And when he introduced tennis to me and my family, he always used to say it's a great sport that you could play even when you get old. It's not like a team sport where you need 10 people to be on the team. Here you just need another person and you can just hit the ball and have a good time. So I actually met the queen. I met Serena Williams in 2019. When she came on the stage, I was screaming. I lost my voice. I was jumping up and down. It was an out-of-body experience. She walked in very strong, powerful, confident, looking so classy and so beautiful. And she was just speaking with such confidence, such poise about her craft, about all the other things she's doing. She talked about tennis, she talked about her entrepreneurial ventures, her jewelry line and clothing line, all those things. And growing up as a kid, I watched Serena and Venus in the limelight. I watched them being criticized for being professional athletes and for also getting into all these entrepreneurial ventures. I watched other professional tennis players that I looked up to say a lot of trash about them. They would say, oh no, you need to just focus on playing tennis. Oh no, you need to just focus on hitting that ball. And I used to be so appalling because they really just shocked the critics because they were able to still dominate on the court and still dominate with their businesses and all those other things they were working on. So this film was just so great to really show where it started and show the adversity they faced when they were young, to how the adversity they face when they're young now applies and really helps them now that they're older, now that they have families, even when they first started their career in the limelight, how all those adversities just really help them. So I've broken this video down into some key points that I learned and gained from this movie. I have about 5 to 6 points that I'll be sharing with you guys today. So the first lesson I got from watching the King Richard film was have an idea. King Richard had this insane idea, an idea that was just, to so many people, seemed so far-fetched, which just really reinforced to me that have an idea that no one understands. It's okay. Have that idea as long as you understand it, it's cool. You might not have everything figured out. You might not know exactly how you're going to execute it, but have that idea. And when he had this idea that he was going to give birth, him and his wife were going to give birth to 2 little girls, and they were going to be the greatest tennis players, greatest athletes of all time. It seemed crazy to so many people, especially from a family who grew up in Compton, literally in a low-income household, and they want to play this white-dominated sport that's very expensive. So that's the first thing. Have an idea. Second, find people who can buy into your idea. So for King Richard, it was his wife. His wife somehow believed this crazy idea, and she was like, "Oh, let's do it." They had these 2 kids, and they brought the entire family on board. The sisters believed in it, even friends believed it, and even people in the community started believing in it. Something I found so powerful in this movie was how a lot of the gangs in Compton would want to come and, of course, want to talk to Venus, Serena, and the older sisters, get them distracted, or just want to come beat up the dad because they're thinking, "Oh, you're better than us. What are you trying to do?" But then there were a group of gang members who protected them. They saw their vision. They saw their drive. They understood, and they said, "You know what? We'll protect you on these tennis courts. We've got you." And I watched an interview where Mr. Richard Williams was speaking, and an interview said, "When Venus and Serena Williams win Wimbledon, what do you want to do?" And he said, or was it US Open? He said, "I want to get all those gang members who protected my children front row seats to watch this Grand Slam." And I thought, wow. And I'm sure it happened. So that's the second thing. Find people who can buy into your idea and start working towards it. Because no man is an island. You can't achieve that alone. There's no way Mr. Richard Williams could have made that plan and really made it come to fruition by himself. The next thing is, once you have your people, create that plan. Create that solid plan. Really think about it. Think about that plan. Write it down, and start working on it. Of course, the only time a plan is perfect is on paper, but that is such an important guiding step for you. Mr. King Richard Williams had a 78-page plan, which he wrote down before Venus and Serena were even born. And a lot of the things on that plan came to fruition. Not everything, but a lot of them. And that was really the guiding map for the family. Because the important thing with having a plan is, when you're tired, when you're not feeling motivated, when so many people have told you no, when people are questioning and doubting you, you go back to your plan that you have written down. A scene from the movie when they were driving to one of these country clubs, the two of the dad and Venus and Serena driving, and the dad would say to them, "Just stick to the plan, just stick to the plan." He's like, "You're gonna make it because you have a plan." And they'll be like, "Yes, daddy." And I thought that was so powerful. These guys learned at such a young age that you have a plan and you stick to it, you go by it. Of course you can pivot, but have a plan. This, I think, is the most important thing from the entire film, is believe. You have to believe. You have to believe. Everyone in that movie believed. The mom, the dad, the siblings, the coaches believed. Because for Venus and Serena, they actually had free coaching in Florida. So they lived in California, and at an age when the dad realized that the kids needed a better environment to really get to the next level, he struck a deal with the coach where they were basically being coached for free. And then once they turn professional, a percentage, I believe it was 15% of their earnings, will be paid out to him. So imagine you've investing so much money into these guys where something could happen. They could have gotten injured. They might not have been that great, but they just believed so hard that it happened. And then when I was watching the Red Table Talk, and Will Smith was interviewing the entire Williams family, well, except for the dad, King Richard Williams, and he asked Venus and Serena, how did you believe so much? And they said, "You know what? Our parents basically brainwashed us to believing that this is going to happen." I thought this is so powerful. The fact that they kept repeating it. It wasn't a question of what if it doesn't happen. It was a question of when it happens. They knew that it was going to happen, not, "Oh, maybe it won't happen." And then Will Smith asked the mother how she believed and how she was able to get the children to believe. And she said, "You know what? We just had to believe and keep going. Something in them just had to click, like, you know what? This is the only way for us. This is the only ticket. We have to make it work. And for us to keep believing, we have to keep working hard and see what belief does." Belief gets you. The next thing is execute. You have this plan, and a lot of us get stuck in planning and writing out, and we don't make the step to execute. Write and then execute. This is something that even Mr. Richard Williams himself almost struggled with. I mean, Venus and Serena were pulled out of junior tournaments at a young age, so they were just training for 2 years. I play tennis competitively, and I know the importance of tournaments, because tournaments really push you mentally. It's exciting to play against other people. It's a great way for you to gauge how you're playing, see, okay, what I was practicing, is it working? Or seeing this is not working, you can improve. But they were training for 2 years, no tournaments. And so when Venus had approached her dad, she really wanted to play in this tournament, and she eventually played the tournament, but her dad was so resistant. And the mom had to confront him, saying, you know what, you have this plan, but you're scared. You're scared to finally make it happen. You're scared. And he was scared because he's like, you know what, when they go out there into the professional world, yes, they have the plan, but he can't protect them. And the plan cannot protect them because that's reality. As I mentioned earlier, when you have a plan only works when it's on paper. But when you start executing, so many things can happen. In their case, they had reporters coming for them because of their blackness, because of their strength, because of their hair, their beads, because of their style, because of their interests, and because of where they were from. Those were things that were not on the plan, right? Those were things that could have distracted them. And of course, it's natural for a parent of an anyone to be scared, but you have to take that step, and they did. They took the step, and look how many years later they're there. As you're taking that step, continue believing, continue believing. You have to do it, and you can do it. Watching this film, I was just like, wow, our dreams are valid. Our dreams are valid, and your dreams are valid. They are. They're so valid. And look at me, I was this young girl who grew up in Harare, Zimbabwe, playing tennis. I had a coach who was my dad first, and I had another coach. Playing tennis, my dream was to come and study in America on a full scholarship. I was just holding on to that dream. I dropped out of formal education to be able to achieve my dreams. I had more time to train. I had to teach myself. Sometimes I'll do extra lessons. I was believing, I held onto that dream. Fast forward, I achieved that goal. I got my D1, I got into D1, graduated with honors. I played college tennis. I played in America. I traveled. I achieved so much. It's about having that dream and just believing. I remember when things would get tough on the tennis court, I would just hold on to that, like, man, okay, I know it's gonna happen. And it was never what if it doesn't happen. No, it was when it happens, because I believed it so much. You have to believe here. It starts here in the heart. Literally, you have to believe. Something I've really learned from this movie, which is something I'm trying to really apply into my life, is the importance of documenting. Document your journey. Document your process of believing, your process of when you have doubts or failure, everything. Something Mr. Richard Williams did was document. He documented Serena and Venus when they were young, 7-year-old, 9-year-old, 11, all the way up. He had cameras, he had recording tapes, and he would record them. He would record them playing tennis. He would record them practicing to interview. He recorded all of that. Why? Because they have to see their journey. Because there'll be times when you're tired and you have to see where you've come from. There'll be times when people don't understand your vision and you need to show them the journey. You need that documentation because now look at them now. They can create this masterpiece to honor their father. Look at them now. People can learn from it. I could go back to their videos and be inspired and learn and grow from it. So documentation is so important. I can't stress that again. And I hope this video pushes you to go to the movies and watch it. And if you don't want to go to the theater, get HBO, watch it on HBO, and go and support the Williams sisters. They've shaken up tennis for the better. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have played tennis even. And I don't think I would have loved tennis so much. I don't think I would have seen life outside of tennis as well, because how they do tennis and they have their own thing. Venus does tennis and she has an interior deco design company. She has her own clothing line. They do so many things and they're still so stylish on the tennis court. So yeah, I could keep going on about this because I love them so much. But go ahead and watch that video, watch that movie, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye guys.